Hey there, it's Stephanie Shea, Chief Astrologer for janspiller.com with your October astrological overview. So to recap what's been going on, if you haven't been following my videos, we entered Virgo season last month in September, and that really did, I think, stir up some of our ambition to get back on track after a few months of delays. We've been working with interplanet retrogrades over July, August, and part of September. So finally, this month, I feel that we're going to be able to experience notable progress, and stagnant situations are scheduled for a bit of a shakeup. So we are also embarking on eclipse season with a solar eclipse on October 14th and a lunar eclipse on October 28th. So a sense of unease often prevails during eclipse season. People can sense that change is in the air, and many times eclipses are prompting us to consciously perceive situations and relationships around us shifting. And I would say usually the change has been brewing for some time, but it's not fully acknowledged until the eclipses bring about events or feelings that indicate this big turning point. We've got Pluto also stationing direct this month, and all the inner planets will be moving forward. This will give us the power to follow through with our plans. It's really going to be a lot harder to make excuses for not doing what we know we should now. We can't blame it on Mercury retrograde anymore. Where we've witnessed some long-standing tension or conflict, we might see a more definitive move towards resolution this month. And on a global scale, we might see more new actions being initiated. It might appear that well-established institutions or systems are suddenly rapidly changing. So let's go back to the beginning of the month. We've got Mars moving from Libra to Scorpio from October 1st to 11th. Mars is going to be in Libra, making it a really favorable time to team up with others. Now, Mars is considered to be in what's called its detriment in this sign, meaning that it doesn't always function well. Libra is kind of a peaceful, let's not rock the boat sign. Mars is usually more assertive and aggressive. However, I would say the way it works when Mars is in Libra is that people might have trouble expressing their anger in direct ways, and hidden resentments could result. So it will be really important to stay mindful about your dealings with others during this time. When everybody can get upfront about their goals and feels clear about the role that they're going to play in a team effort, that's when things are more likely to run smoothly with this Mars in Libra energy. Now, on October 12th, Mars moves into Scorpio and remains in this sign for the rest of the month. Mars is the traditional ruler of Scorpio, so it generally functions quite well in this sign. We can harness the power of Mars in Scorpio to increase our determination levels and work with intense focus towards our goals. The second half of October is going to be a particularly good time to regroup and re-energize ourselves, especially if we have experienced a recent disappointment. Mars is also ruling our passion in the sign of Scorpio. I'd say intimate relationships will probably heat up a bit. Anyone who's already involved in a committed relationship may have the opportunity to deepen their physical and emotional connection with their partner. And it's a really good time for single people to meet someone new and feel a very strong attraction. So that's exciting. And it's also very good timing for new relationships, because on October 7th, Venus will clear the shadow of its last retrograde cycle, activating full support to move forward with big decisions related to our finances and our love lives, or both. Venus will be moving forward in the sign of Leo from October 1st to 7th. During these days, we'll be supported to review the lessons presented to us during the recent Venus retrograde cycle. So maybe we were called to assess what it is that we really want. What does our heart desire? As we put a wrap on this year's Venus retrograde in Leo, the sign of courage and love, we can set our sights on what we know needs to be done to ensure our future happiness. October 8th, Venus enters Virgo, where it will remain through November 7th. During these days, we'll have full support to begin actively working towards our goals related to finances, partnership, anything really that's been calling to us. As we move through the eclipses this month, Venus in Virgo is a helpful energy to stay grounded and committed to the self-care that we have dedicated ourselves to. It's a particularly good time period to nurture ourselves as well as improve our daily working conditions and relationships. It will probably feel really satisfying to focus on the tasks at hand and make noticeable progress towards a goal that is really meaningful to you. The small pleasures of daily life will leave us feeling fulfilled, and we might prefer to keep our plans more simple. It doesn't have to be elaborate to be a lot of fun with Venus in Virgo. Now, Pluto stations direct, as I was saying, October 10th, and that's ending a cycle that began May 1st. Over the past 5 months, we've been encouraged to assess what it is that we want, access our inner power, and initiate change from within rather than trying to control external circumstances. If anyone has been trying to control external circumstances during the Pluto retrograde, you might have run against some resistance. And now that Pluto is moving direct, I'd say it's going to be an easier time to try to push forward new ideas, the things that you have maybe worked on to keep your inner strength up when dealing with others. It's a lot easier to get that going with Pluto direct. So there's a powerful energy coming up. Our best bet is to tune into the current energies of Pluto without trying to force things before their time. Between October 10th of this year and January 20th of 2024, Pluto is moving direct in the sign of Capricorn. So we're going to be encouraged to consider what needs to be dealt with on a practical level. It will be less a time of visioning and more of assessing pretty much our bottom line, what needs to be done. Anything we do during these days will support the more revolutionary energies that are going to accompany Pluto's move into the sign of Aquarius starting January 20th through May 2nd, 2024. That's another little, what I'm calling a sneak preview, because we still have a little more Pluto in Capricorn in the year of 2024. But finally, by the end of the year, November 2024, we will have the official move of Pluto into Capricorn longer term. But I think we're sort of flirting with it right now as it goes from 29 Capricorn back to 0 degrees Aquarius, back and forth over that line. We're kind of like, okay, what needs to be wrapped up from the past? What can we use from the past that's established? What needs to be revolutionized? I'm feeling that energy very much. Let's talk some eclipses, though. We have our Libra new moon solar eclipse on October the 14th. And this is a very powerful day for intention setting. Among other areas, Libra is the ruler of the themes dealing with luxury, peace, beauty, diplomacy, balance. What else? Negotiation, marriage, giving and receiving support, anything cooperative or collaborative, sharing. You get the idea with this Libra energy. So if you have intentions in any of these areas of your life, a lot of people are setting partnership intentions to meet perhaps a marriage partner or to strengthen their current partnership or marriage. This new moon solar eclipse is fantastic for these types of intentions. And it's especially powerful because it's combined with a solar eclipse. So you're looking towards what would I like to see my life look like 6 months from now when we will experience a lunar eclipse. That's sort of the follow-up to this one. So be thinking big at this new moon when you set your intentions. And if you follow Jan Spiller's books and work, her legacy that she left behind, you may know about her book, New Moon Astrology. Highly recommend checking that out because that will help you see how to set, she calls them wishes, how to set your intentions or wishes at each new moon based on the sign that it's in. And she does some sample wording even, which I think is very helpful because you really have to be careful what you wish for. So she has good ways to put it all in the positive so that things flow more easily if you're going to manifest these changes in your life. Mercury, of course, stationed direct last month on September 15th and cleared the shadow phase of this cycle on September 30th. So October is such a powerful month to move forward with new plans. Mercury was retrograde in Virgo from August 23rd to September 15th, and that directed our minds, of course, towards unfinished business. These days were not favorable for decision making, but now that Mercury is moving forward, this is a great month to finally take decisive action. So Mercury is moving forward in Virgo, October 1st to 3rd. Use those days to carefully plan your schedule for the coming months so you can make the most of your efforts, have it all kind of planned out how you want to manage your time. From October 4th to 20th, Mercury is going to be in Libra. These days are great for networking and teamwork. They're really good for any type of negotiations or hammering out contracts or agreements. Between October 21st and November 8th, Mercury is in Scorpio. Use these days for asking important questions and researching your next move. Certain truths could come to light during this time period that help you to alter your expectations and visions moving forward. And the grand finale of October is our lunar eclipse, and it's in the sign of Taurus. It's the second lunar eclipse of the year, and it's a culmination of energy that was initiated at the April 20th solar eclipse in Aries. So anything that we've been working on over the past 6 months is scheduled to show some results around this time. This lunar eclipse is at 5 degrees of Taurus. Anyone born around October 28th or April 26th on the Taurus side will feel this eclipse the most powerfully. Those who are born October 28th, that's the ones who are having the lunar eclipse on their birthday, are scheduled to gain recognition or be in the spotlight in some way in the coming year. So I feel that this eclipse energy is going to force people to clarify their values. Money and material gain may win out in importance over, let's say, environmental concerns for some. Because this lunar eclipse is in a fixed sign, we can get trapped into all or nothing thinking, which can push us to make extreme decisions. And I use the environmental example because Taurus rules the earth. So people may think either I can make a bunch of money or I'm an environmentalist. And it doesn't have to be that polarized. It's going to be helpful, I think, for anyone in a powerful position, as well as just, the general populace, to consider the ways to be true to their values and strike a compromise. We might not get everything we want, but if we're shooting for an ideal, that we can move closer to it. Rigid thinking is only going to perpetuate inaction and feelings of frustration at this eclipse. So with all full moon lunar eclipses, it's always good not to engage in heated conversations. People's emotions are going to be running hot. It's better to notice what comes up for you at that time and a few days after the lunar eclipse if you feel you want to initiate the conversation based on what you've realized, and it might involve someone else. Then a few days after the full moon lunar eclipse is usually a calmer energy and you'll have a more productive conversation. So I hope you can make the most of October's astrology. I'm really happy to see things moving forward again, and I look forward to giving you your forecast next month. Have a great month of October.